Welcome back to the Happy Accidental Gardener channel. My name is Estelle. I am the Happy Accidental Gardener. I am here on a journey to grow things and learn things and try new things and occasionally fail totally, but most of the time it's going to turn out well. If you've been here before, thank you so much for coming back. If you've never been here before, welcome. Today, we are going to be starting seeds indoors for planting outside for the growing season. According to the USDA, the last frost date for this area should be April 15th. Anybody who lives in central New Jersey will tell you, that's kind of iffy. Now, occasionally it'll be all the way up until the last week of April. Last year, 2020, which was just a weird year all by itself, we actually had a hard frost for 3 nights in the middle of May. I don't usually plant out my summer vegetables until the 2nd or 3rd week of May, so this gives me a good 2 months of indoor growth for these seedlings to get strong roots and strong bodies so that when they go outside, they'll be set to go. Seed starting really isn't difficult. The hardest part, for me anyway, and for a lot of gardeners, is figuring out what you actually want to grow and how much of it you want to grow. If you're growing, say, tomatoes that you want to use to make sauce, you want them to ripen all around the same time. So maybe you want to plant 4 or 6 plants all at the same time. If you are planting tomatoes just for eating and for salads, that sort of thing, you want to do what's called succession planting, where you plant them 2 to 3 weeks apart so that you'll have tomatoes coming in all season. The same for zucchini and string beans and corn or anything else you want to try. As you can see, we're in my kitchen. There's my food processor and some aprons I have hanging up. So we're going to be using my kitchen table to set out all of our seed starting supplies and get this show on the road. Here on the table are my supplies for my seed starting. In the back there, you'll see my aloe plant, which badly needs to be repotted. There's a main plant and like 3 pups that are growing out of control. Yeah, aloe plant babies are called pups. Who knew? And you'll also see in the background here the light that I use for my plants. I did buy it online. I don't remember where, but they're fairly easy to find and reasonably inexpensive. Now, there are some really expensive plant light setups. It all depends on what you want to do and how much you want to spend. It's all up to you. When it comes to starting seeds, the method that you use will be determined by ease of use and cost and time and effort. And for everybody, that's different. Some people like to use these little peat pots. You buy them in this dry, compressed state, and then you add water, and they puff up and end up looking just like this. Now, in the dry state, they do have a little divot on top, if you can see that. Get a little closer. They have a little divot on top, and they have a similar divot once they puff up. Now, all you're going to do is put your seed in there. You can have a whole bunch of them together like I do in this tray. I think I have about 40 of them in this tray. And all you're going to do is keep track of what you put where. Put 1 seed in each peat pot and keep them well watered. And that's a great way to start seeds. Now, let's say you don't want to run out and buy those little peat pots. Got plastic or styrofoam in your house? You can absolutely use these cups to start seeds. Just remember to poke holes in the bottom for drainage. Now, styrofoam is not recyclable, but if you are careful, it's reusable. Reduce, reuse, recycle. Now, 2020 was the year that we all ran out and bought ridiculous amounts of toilet paper. So, if you have toilet paper rolls left, you can use those for seed starting. Just make sure you fold down the bottom. You're going to put soil in this little tube that you've just made, and you don't necessarily have to buy seed starting mix. You can if you want to, but if you have soil for containers or raised beds, you can easily use that, and because this is biodegradable, All you're going to do when it's time to transplant, instead of taking the seedling out, is you're going to plant this whole tube, just like you would with the peat pot. With these pots, you absolutely don't have to take the netting off the outside. You just plant the whole thing. If you're like me and you enjoy the occasional cup of yogurt for breakfast, you can save your yogurt cups. Again, poke holes in the bottom for drainage. If you know you have a seedling that likes to spread out a little bit, for me, that's peanuts. They like a little bit of room. You can absolutely use these using soil, 4 containers, or raised bed soil. You can absolutely use these to start your seedlings. So this is the master list of the things I'm going to be planting this year. Will this list change? Probably. I'll probably be outside or pass a nursery or see something I want to grow or try and add it to my garden plan just because I can. But this at least is going to help me get started with my seed starting. For instance, I know I want to have 6 zucchini plants this year, but I don't want to put them all in at the same time because I don't want to end up with 10 pounds of zucchini all at the same time. So I'm starting 2 plants today, I'm starting 2 in 2 weeks, and I'm starting 2 weeks after that. And this list will help me keep track of all of that. On this list, I've got the varieties of tomatoes, peppers, melons, squash that I want to try, and some new things too. I'm growing corn this year, never done that before, and I'm trying bush melons, which means they should give me the same amount of melons, same quality, same size, but they won't take up nearly as much space. I'm kind of excited about that one. So here are all the seeds I'm going to be starting inside. There are the peanuts I told you about. I've got zucchini and yellow squash, 4 types of tomato, 2 for canning, 2 for fresh eating, 2 types of cucumbers, again, 1 for canning, 1 for fresh eating. I've got jalapenos and bell peppers, and I ordered some poblano seeds. I've got 4 types of watermelon and honeydew and Crenshaw melon. So this should be a very, very interesting garden year. Now, there are some things that are not on the table because they are direct sow or they go out later. So things like corn, definitely on direct sow. Lettuce, snow peas, direct sow. White potatoes and sweet potatoes, direct sow. And when it comes time to put those in the soil, we'll talk about that too. Also, I have to draw up a chart so I can keep track of where I put everything and what's what. Because when seeds are first coming out, they all look the same. Some things will be easy to keep track of, like the peanuts, because they'll be in completely different containers. But everything that's going to be in those peat pots, definitely need a chart. Now, some people use little markers or they put tape on toothpicks and they stick them in the peat pots with the seeds. I've tried that and it doesn't work for me, but if that works for you, go for it. I use my time during a not very exciting meeting during my paying job to put together my seed chart. I don't know if you can see it clearly, but over here I've got my 4 yogurt cups with my peanuts, I've got peppers, I've got tomatoes, I've got melons, I've got my snapdragons. It's time to get these seeds in the soil. Let's get started. And now, soil. And so, here we are. 35 peat pots and 9 repurposed containers later, the first round of seeding is done. If you like what you saw today, like what you heard, definitely hit the like button. If you'd like to keep up with the experiments that I'm doing in my garden, the things that I'm trying, the things that might go kind of wrong, see how the seeds are doing, and watch how garden season progresses, definitely hit subscribe. And if you want to know about new videos and new webisodes when I put them up, hit the notification bell. Thanks for stopping by. I'll see you guys around the garden.